Okay, yesterday did front struts on the 2004 Santa Fe, and now doing rear shocks. Simply tire removed, axle stands, tire put under the car, just in case the axle stands fail, blah blah blah, jack's still under there, just in case everything else fails. These are pretty damn simple. There's just one bolt on the very bottom, and if you go up and look in the shock, the other top bolt is in the interior, which is probably where you want to go first because it's going to be dirty. And of course the girlfriend's got her car packed for camping. And you'll see there's this little access plate here, which you're going to have to stick a screwdriver in, pop out, rubber cap, and there's the nut. I think that's a 17. So we're going to take that off first, and it's going to need a deep 17. As you can see, it's a tall bolt, so we're going to need a deep 17 or 19. I think it's a 17 though. Anyway, back in 1 second. Okay, that is a 17 mil bolt. I'm simply going to unbolt it. And these are probably the washer and the spacer are probably going to come off once we pull the shock down from the bottom. They're probably pinched in there with it. Anyway, I want to do the clean stuff on the inside first before I get dirty underneath the car. So now we're going to move down onto the bottom. Yeah, this is like ridiculously simple. Old-fashioned shock absorbers. So you got a bottom bolt and nut here. It's bolted on both sides. That's weird. That's strange. Okay, let me find the right socket and back in a minute. I think that's a 19. It's not a 21. No, it's a 19. Back in 1 minute. Okay, hose down with penetrating fluid and confirm that it's a 19. And remember the washers, there's a lock washer on the outside and a larger spacer washer, and hopefully, now these things can be a bitch sometimes, they can be welded onto here. I'm going to hose that down a little bit more. And if we're lucky, we'll be able to tap that out with the, tap this off sideways. Actually, there's another bolt here, and I'm not too sure why. Would you bolt it on both sides? I guess that's just the mount bolted through to the rear spindle. Unless you need to unbolt that to slip the whole thing out, which doesn't really seem to make sense. I don't know why I would have to do that. I should be able to just tap this sideways. So I'm going to grab it at BFH and back in a second. Okay, I've just been letting the penetrating fluid sit on that for a bit. Tapped it a few times on the collar, and that will hopefully release the collar, this metal collar inside of the shock. You'll see on the new one there's this metal ring around the outside, then there's a rubber ring in there, and then a metal collar inside of that. A lot of times that, if it's the original shock, will be frozen, welded to the to this sleeve inside there. So whacking on that should, with some releasing agent in there, should make it nice and loose. Let's try a pry bar. So you can see the rubber, the collar and the inside collar is grabbing, and the rubber is, oh nice. Okay. So slide that out and see here, you see the rust on there. And then we just lower, because we've released the top bolt already, lower the shock down and out. And let's go look at the new one. Okay, new shock, old shock. Please excuse these gorilla potty noises. Okay, so do we need this boot? Actually, we need to compress the shock and snip this. Actually, I need scissors, hold on. Need to snip the plastic retaining rod off there. Measure up the two shocks to make sure you got the right one, which is always good, and I do. And there's the inner collar I was talking about. This thing will get rusted and welded on. One on the new one. So this one had a rubber boot on it, but I don't think we need that. That's because it had nothing underneath. No, just a bump stop. I don't think we need this bump stop. No, we don't, because of the length of the shock. So here again, this is a Monroe shock. It's not the exact same, it's the same length as the original, everything's the same. But on the original one, you've got this bump stop here, and you've got this boot around it. Well, the boot's got a rubber ring on the top here that keeps it from slamming on the top of the chassis when you hit stuff, so we're going to keep that. And, or do we even need it? Let's see if the new kit has a rubber retainer in there. Probably got one for both sides, and it does. So you've got rubber boot for each side. So you'll have collar, rubber, like that. Washer, collar, this will go up inside, and then once we're inside the car, another rubber washer and another collar. So let's take this over. So we don't need any of this old stuff, and we'll take this over to the car and jam it on. Excuse the noise this camera makes when I adjust it. It makes some squeaky noises. A lot of times it's easier to slip the bottom over first than it is to get the top in. In this case, that might not be true. We've got to compress the shock by hand in order to fit it over. Okay, why does this not slip over the collar? Are you kidding me? Let's check that with it down here. Oh, it does slip over. Okay. Just on the angle, it doesn't want to. Just gotta compress it really all the way by hand and slip it on. Come on, Neil. Come on, you just went on there, so do it again for me. Let's try the other side. It might just want to slip on that side a bit easier. There we go. And now, oops, hold on a second, there's an original rubber stopper there, which I'm going to choose to save as opposed to the new one. The original rubber is probably a heck of a lot better quality than anything aftermarket, even Monroe or whatever. So here would be the original rubber top stop, and it's made of denser, thicker material. It's spent its life inside the car, including the washer and the top bolt. It's a nylon lock washer, so I'm not going to reuse that. I'm just going to take the new bolt and stick it on that strut and be back in a second. Okay, so I got the new nut, which is a 14. Not as nice hardware as the original, but the original does not have the same thread pitch. onto that strut. Basically tighten it down till this is, actually it's a little too compressed. I don't want it quite that compressed. The rubber bushing, you want some give on it. So leave it mushroomed out a little bit, but you don't want it too much or it'll just bang around in there. You want it to be able to do its work and absorb all the bumps. So, access hatch back on, down back underneath. Sorry about the noise. Every neighbor in the neighborhood is doing their lawn today. So now we're going to simply take the big washer, lock washer, original bolt, the 19, and put that back on to about 70. Oops, wrong way. Oh no, it's not. I'm backwards. Sometimes when you're upside down, you don't remember which way you're going. Okay. Oh, it would help if I put the 19mm socket on there, not the 21 wheel socket on there. Makes a big difference sometimes. And that is it. One side done, other side to be done now. It's about a 15-minute job, depending on how stuck that is there. But like I said, hammer on this, throw tons of lube on there, penetrating fluid, and hammer on the bottom collar of the old shock, and that should loosen it up between the two. The vibration should loosen it up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whoa! One more thing, almost forgot. Had to pull the plastic thing back off, little rubber booty. Done. Thanks for watching.